Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were up, Dow was up almost about 0.8% and Nasdaq was marginally down as the Apple stock was down almost about 3 to 4%. The 10-year bond yields in US have actually spiked up to 2.86. At one point they were down to about 2.8, but then towards the end of the session they closed around 2.86. European markets too were up anywhere from about 0.5% to almost about 1.25%, and in fact European markets closed at the 5 years highest levels. And when we look at the Asian markets today, Nikkei is flat, and though it was shut yesterday, it is not showing any kind of a strength, and most of the other markets like Hang Seng, Shanghai and rest of the Asian markets are down about 0.5%. SGX Nifty is also suggesting that we are going to open up about 7 to 8 points negative. And in terms of flows, FIs were net buyers to the tune of about 283 crore. The domestic institutions were sellers to the tune of about 430 crore. And in the index futures, the FIs were sellers to the tune of 50 crore. Yesterday, friends, we opened up with almost about 100 points kind of a gain, but could not sustain right from the morning. And in fact, from the top of the day we closed almost about 140 odd points down, which is definitely quite negative in the current scenario. Also, FOMC meet which is began yesterday is likely to conclude with about $10 billion of tapering, which is in line with the market expectations, and actually that could spark off rally across the emerging markets. So from that perspective, we think that there is a case for some more upside in our markets over the next about 3 to 4 days time. On that note, let me invite Sadhana to take us through important F&O cues, data and strategies that we can have in the F&O markets.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. In yesterday's session, we have seen a gap up opening of 120 points in Nifty and ahead of closure of short positions by market participants, as around 3.21 lakh shares were reduced in open interest and Nifty futures premium increased marginally from 22 points to 25 odd levels. And we have seen that call option has added around 3.22 lakh shares were added in open interest, and put option underwent reduction by 12.80 lakh shares in open interest. That's why we have seen that put call ratio cooled off marginally from 1.33 to 1.30. It is clearly visible in the options activity as we see call option strike of 5,800, 5,900 and 6,000 call option has seen a good activity, and 5,800 and 5,700 put option has seen a good activity. Overall, our bias for the market is positive, but we feel 5,800 from intraday perspective might act as a good support. And from intraday perspective, one can go long on Tata Motors DVR with a stop loss of 157.65. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. First of all, SESA Goa, the Supreme Court hearing on the illegal mining ban in the state of Goa is likely to come up for hearing, and we've seen SESA Goa stock correcting in yesterday's market. So depending upon the outcome of the court, there could be some reaction. Remember friends, SESA Goa has already run up from about 130-40 levels to about almost 180. So it could remain volatile in today's market. Reliance Broadcast Network has announced that a board of directors meeting is scheduled for the delisting of the equity of the company from the markets, and this could invite some kind of a volatility for the Reliance Broadband stock. The WPI inflation data came out, and that was higher at about 6.1% in August as against about 5.79% in July, and this is mainly driven by the increase in the food prices. So definitely this is a bit of negative given the fact that the government is looking at cutting the interest rates in consultation with RBI, but if the WPI inflation shows some kind of an uptrend, then definitely it would pave the way for much higher interest rates in the short term at least. And in advance tax payment numbers came out, and Reliance has paid advance tax of about 1,670 crore as against about 1,534 crore last year. Zydus Group has launched a tablet for the treatment of diabetes called Lipaglyn, and this is priced at about 25.90 per tablet in the domestic market. And Titan is now looking at moving into this fragrance category and eyeing a total revenue of about 250 crore in this segment over the next about 3 to 5 years time. Lupin has received a US FDA approval for one of the tablets for treatment of sleep disorders, and this would have a total market size of about $366 million. So one can go long on Lupin with a stop loss of 819 and a target of about 861 to about 877. Yesterday, HCL Tech stock was down almost about 4.5 to 5% on the rumors that the company might be merged with HCL Infosystem, but now the company has clarified that there are no such plans. And on the back of that, we think that one can go long on HCL Tech with a stop loss of 976 and a target of about 1025 to about 1045. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session and see you tomorrow at the same time.